Happy Friday. 2 hours of nonstop NBA DFS conversation. It starts right now, taking you all the way up the lock. You get Taylor and Kristi as well as Kevin Roth for crunch time around 6:15, 6:20. It is a big boy slate, not messing around. Of course, the in-season tournament, kind of throwing the schedule off this week. Just 2 games tomorrow. It was the finals is tomorrow. I think the consolation game, I'm assuming they're going to play one as well. Also happening, no games on Sunday, I think, again. Pretty sure that's how it's working as far as this week, but who cares about tomorrow or Sunday? We care about today and today only. And today, 13 games, no time for pleasantries, no time to talk about the possibility of Shohei Ohtani playing professional baseball for the Toronto Blue Jays. Sorry, TJ. Wish you the best of luck. That would be pretty cool. TJ pulling double duty here, not just producing, but giving analysis for the show. What's up, TJ? Again, we got to keep this. We got to keep it moving. No time for fun. No time for shenanigans. 13 games. Hello. How do we feel about today's slate?
Big slate, fun one to dive into, playing 3 main lineups, and then I got I'm doing a 20 entry max as well, playing a little NHL tonight, and yeah, we got a lot going on, doing double duty today, producing and analyst, so make sure you're smashing that like button for us, help us out, hit the like button on YouTube, and we also got a giveaway going in the RotoGrinders Discord. I just dropped a message in chat in the live stream chat. So all you got to do is hit the thumbs up on that. Don't drop a thumbs up in chat below it. Hit the thumbs up on that message and I'll enter your name onto the wheel to do a giveaway of 1 free week of RG Premium. So make sure you smash the like button on YouTube and then also hop in the RotoGrinders Discord. Give a thumbs up to that message.
Oh, I did not follow directions. I actually put a thumb up in the YouTube chat. My bad, TJ. But
unbelievable.
I should listen. I can't believe Devin gave you wheel privileges. But yeah, we're going to be spinning that wheel around 6 o'clock on the East Coast and give away a week free of RG Premium. I'm sorry, was it a week or 2 weeks? 2 individual weeks?
I think we could do 2. I think we could do 2.
All right, there we go. And while you're at it,
I don't remember my message when messaging with Devin. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2. So why don't we go 2? There's 13 games.
Yeah, we typically give at least 1, sometimes 2 if we get enough likes. If we get 500 likes, you get a second, whatever. We got to hit a certain threshold. I'm sure TJ will be pumping those likes enough.
If we can get, how many people are watching on YouTube right now? If we can get 75 likes on YouTube before the crunch time crew gets here, then we'll give away a second one as well.
There you go. Also, if you're hanging out in the Discord channel and you're hitting the thumb up, you know what else you should do if you're hanging out in the Discord is we have a brand new Discord channel. The Discord channel, the RG Squad, the Squad Ride channel. We've been doing this internally, basically just kind of having some fun. Somebody would pick somebody else's pick on Scores and Odds. They would nominate it. We would all have that pick, and we would all have the sweat together. And then somebody said, hey, that's not the right idea. Let's kind of bring everybody else in. And on Discord, RotoGrinders.com, it's Squad Ride. We're going to be, you can sweat it throughout the night as well, too. It's a fun channel. You're allowed to have emojis. Some places emojis are not encouraged or GIFs. I got yelled at in the NHL chat for dropping too many GIFs. They're very serious over there. They're really good, and they don't like any nonsense. Speaking of hockey, by the way, stack the Panthers tonight. Hope you're stacking the Panthers. That's usually a bit, for real. Stack the Panthers. I'm playing the goalie against them. Oh boy, that's not going to end well for you, my friend. But jump on over to the Discord channel, RG Squad Ride Discord. They're 10-3 so far. One person nominates somebody else's Scores and Odds, and then every single day somebody else is nominated, and the baton is passed. And it's kind of a fun thing we're doing internally, and cranking out some winners as well. Kirkwood, welcome.
It took you 7 minutes. Took you 5 minutes to even say hello or welcome to me. Just people jot that down. Write that down, everybody. Keep a note of that.
It wasn't a slander. It wasn't like an insult. It was just, I was saying hello to TJ. We wanted to establish. I got one of the promo reads out. Like if you want to host a show and delegate, pick the spots. It was an appropriate time to mention the new Discord channel. I thought it just kind of happened to work out. We kind of bled right into it. But my apologies. I'll say hello earlier next time.
So would you say it's safe to say that can you hear me? Am I on mute or?
No, we hear you.
Okay. Would you say it's safe to say that TJ is the Diddy of RG?
No.
That was a setup for Dean, but
right, never mind. I guess the answer is no. I didn't have any thoughts on it, to be honest. But Kirkwood, you waited 7 minutes, and that's who you open with. that's pretty damn
good. If you've been following any of the Diddy stuff lately, it's pretty damn good.
I have not delved into those stories, but I saw there was allegations, and I have not clicked on those. I've not been watching my daily dose of TMZ. My apologies.
A lot of thumbs ups in the Diddy stuff going on. A lot of people would give the thumbs up. Okay, am I on? Is it Dean or is it?
We hear. Do you want like a laugh track behind you? It's an acknowledgement we can hear.
No, there's something. It's choppy. There's something like there's a disconnect with you. But okay.
TJ, is this just on his end? Is it my end? Are you hearing anything?
It's the timing sounds normal to me. Kirk Dees is like chopping in and out a little bit, but not very bad. Just like a small amount.
All right, let me check my mic settings.
Okay, maybe that's what's going on. I'm not always certain. Can I throw it back to you? I'm going to go away from you for a second, if that's okay. Oh,
look at that. So
you're good.
The AirPods were not when he wasn't selected. You know that much better now, I'm sure.
It does sound a lot better. You're coming in pretty hot, but like it does sound more clear. Kirkwood, big boy slate, lot going on Friday night. 13 gamer. So we actually have some value. You know, Trae Young being out is kind of a big deal. Some more might fall potentially with the absence of maybe Evan Mobley, maybe Malcolm Brogdon. Ayton, we're assuming, is going to be out as well, too. He's officially doubtful. Suggs out for Orlando. Some other pieces that aren't as important. Porzingis coming back for Boston, so it's going to be tough to find some value there. Clarkson coming back for Utah, as is Kelly Olynyk. So they're going to be full throttle with the exception of marketing. But, what are you seeing? How do you feel about today's slate? A lot of good matchups. It's just like it's hard to get everybody. We do live in the world of a salary cap, but there are some very exploitable matchups on this slate. But, it's hard making a lineup that, without leaving out some really good things I want. But that's how it goes. I guess it's kind of fun, too.
I think that's been the theme of DraftKings, at least for a while now, but there's a lot of stuff. It was nice to get the Trae news. We've got the Hawks value. That's the big, that's going to be shaping lineups for sure, is the number of Hawks players that you're playing. Also, there's some blowout risk potential in that game, but Philly usually tends to play down to competition a lot. So I like this game just fine. There's Sacramento Phoenix, which is a good game to watch and should be playing at a fast pace. And Durant is out, correct?
Dean, you're muted.
Booker is expensive, but he's probably the best spend up on the slate for that reason. I'm running some optimals as well, too. We got an update that just came in at 453, so a brand new update. We have some if-thens as well we can talk about if certain guys are out. This is how, projections would change. Williams also is questionable still for Charlotte, and we saw how tight they played their rotation the other night. They have so few, bodies that are what they want to actually play. They might play their 6 guys, essentially. Anything we should say, anything we should stress before we dive into the 13 gamer, Kirkwood? Is there anything overarching? Is there one particular injury you're monitoring the most? Or, we'll just kind of figure it out organically as we go along.
I like the sound of organically. I mean, there's Brogdon. What else are we really waiting for besides
Williams, Brogdon, Mobley, and Chris Paul? I don't know how much that matters because the Golden State guys are all kind of pumped up already, So even if certain players get a few extra minutes, I don't know if there's much value there anyways. But Mobley could be interesting if he's out.
Yep.
And Bam on the other side. So Miami is pretty vulnerable defensively. Not as advertised, not as you'd expect, just the name brand. TJ, you got anything before we dive in?
Nope, let's do it.
Okay. Very first game on the slate. There's 3 games. 3 games at 7 o'clock. Atlanta, Philadelphia, right out the gate. Let's hit you with the big game on the slate. One of the big ones for sure. 234.5 is a total. Atlanta, like you said, they're potentially a potential blowout. There's always potential blowout, right? That's just how it goes. But they're 9-point dogs here in Philadelphia. We talked about the lack of Trae Young. No Trae Young. DeJounte Murray is going to get a ton of usage. Not just Trae Young, but the Jalen Johnson is out. So two of their big pieces in their offense. Philadelphia is fully healthy. They're fully good to go. TJ, how much do we love this Atlanta side? How much are we embracing it? We've also seen, which was kind of interesting of late, finally Atlanta is embracing, the two big boys out there at the same time, Capella and Okongwu. We've seen that several times of late. And probably the absence of Young and the absence of Johnson is going to force them to continue doing that unless they want to play like some AJ Griffin or something. There's not a lot of options there. But, Murray looks like one of the best plays on the slate. Is that where you're at? How much Atlanta is too much Atlanta?
I don't think the limit exists for how much Atlanta is too much Atlanta. So I apologize. I'm also playing some lineups today. So as I'm screen sharing here, this is my player pool for DraftKings. And so if we want to talk about some players that aren't in there, that's fine. I'll just switch to the excluded tab. But full disclosure, I'm playing 20 lineups today. Shit, pardon me. Wife just got home. Dog's going crazy. But I am playing lineups today as well. So as we screen share, this is my full entire player pool for 20 entry max. And right now, as you can see in my rules on lineup HQ, I'm going to have way more Atlanta than any other team. I don't have like a limit of 5, so one less than the DK limit, and a minimum of 2 Atlanta players in every lineup. So I'm trying to get as much Atlanta as possible today.
I did run some optimals. I'm a little bit surprised. So it's interesting because the very first one has 3 Atlanta. The next one has 1 Atlanta. The next one has 2 Atlanta. And the next one has 4 Atlanta. So it's like all over the place. But and I did add some variance to this as well and all that stuff. But the most popular plays that have hit my optimals, let's see, Bay is the first one and Murray is the third one. And Orlando is also going to be pretty popular too. A great matchup there, whereas Washington at least missing one piece there in Suggs. Some other pieces that have been out for a while. Your favorite play on Atlanta, TJ, is who?
DeJounte Murray by a lot.
Yeah. You like Capella, Okongwu? You feel like the minutes are at least a little bit more secure with them running together sometimes?
Yeah, like historically, Capella's had some really great games against Joel Embiid. I think he's been having a bit of an increase in minutes, trending up lately. Hopefully I'm going to just try and ride that, hope it continues and wasn't just a random 2 games. I think he's going to get a few more minutes against Embiid. I think he could push for 30. And so I do like him quite a bit. I'm not getting to any Okongwu.
Mark Williams officially in for Charlotte. So if you were thinking about value there, slight hits now, Williams being back. I assume that means, Washington stays on the bench, right? He didn't start last game, but we saw the backup 5. I'm losing his name for some reason. We'll talk about him in a second. Richards will jump to the bench, I assume, and Williams will go ahead and claim the starting spot. Kirkwood, your thought as far as Atlanta, and then there's, Embiid, who's just smashing the world, but basically everybody's playing tonight with the exception of, the teams that are playing on Saturday. If you have the money, is Embiid like the one stud you want? He's great, sure. It's basically Embiid and Maxey, as far as I can tell, but Maxey is super expensive. But you tell me, where are you at, Kirkwood, as far as Atlanta and Philly?
Embiid is the one star that I want. I mean, the dude's ridiculous in that game the other night where he flashed his MVP self, going for over 50 real points on a night when the Joker went like 8 for 30 from the field or something. Remember that? That was interesting. Fun night. It comes. I mean, this game should be a gold mine as long as it stays competitive, and I think it will. So Bogey. I like a lot. Sadiq Bey, DeAndre Hunter, like all those guys are good lineup filler, and then DeJounte is the best of all of them I like. And then give me your thoughts on Wesley Matthews, Dean.
No, I mean, like, I'll give you my thought. My thoughts are.
How does he still get time? It's crazy. He's so bad. It's amazing watching him.
What are we? Is he something that people are going to play? People aren't going to play Wesley Matthews, right?
No.
You're just having fun. Okay.
Yeah.
I never thought about Wesley Matthews. I'd rather play Garrison Matthews than Wesley Matthews. Yeah. Gary Bird, as you like to call him.
Gary Bird. Tough situation for him. Tough situation for him. He was shipped out after we had called him the future of Houston basketball, but
you say we, I don't know, you and somebody else. I had nothing to do with
Chop. It was Chop that was.
Maybe I don't want to be in that secret chat if that's the things you guys are talking about. Garrison Matthews and Wesley Matthews both under 10% usage on the season. But power rank those for me, TJ, as far as your interest in Atlanta. I do want to see what we have ownership wise because the Matthews guys are not going to get owned, but we're seeing Murray at 37%, Bay at 30%, Capella at 20%, Bogdanovich at 20%, Bogdan, and Okongwu getting 15%. I think all 5 of those guys. Hunter, interesting as well at 10%, but the rotation should be pretty tight. Assuming this game doesn't get goofy, assuming it's not a blowout, Atlanta looks pretty good. You said it looks like you're willing to play 5 on one lineup, TJ. Is that what I heard? Is that what I saw?
That's the rule that's in there, but I mean, I only have 5 Atlanta players in the pool, so I very highly doubt I have a lineup with them in there. But I just set a rule that I want at least 3 Atlanta players in every lineup that has Embiid. So you never know. There could end up be a few lineups that sneak in there where I play all 5 Atlanta players with Embiid or with Tyrese Maxey.
Your thoughts? Anything you want to add as far as Philadelphia? It's only Embiid and Maxey, right? I think it's only those 2. You tell me otherwise if you want to.
Only 2 that I have in my pool are Embiid and Maxey. And for what it's worth, in my main 3 lineups, I currently have 1 with Embiid, 1 with Maxey, and I was trying to consider doing 1 with both, but I just couldn't make it work.
Like a full-fledged, not messing around, like a legit game stack.
Yeah.
On a 13 gamer, it's tough, but it certainly it can hit. It's possible, and you'd love to get overtime. Obviously, you can't assume overtime, but that would be amazing.
It's super tough on a slate this big, and I usually wouldn't do it, but we've just seen anytime Atlanta or Washington or Indiana plays, it just has the potential, if these games stay close, of just absolutely exploding.
Shout out to Indiana, fun team to rooting for them. I'm kind of rooting for them on Saturday, but the Lakers are gonna win that game, right? First ever, it's gonna go to the Lakers. LeBron's gonna own the franchise in Vegas in a couple years when it exists. Of course, the Lakers are going to win the first ever in-season tournament.
I love when Halliburton gave him it's my time, not Dame time.
Oh, I love Halliburton. He's the best.
Did you see that or no? You didn't watch the game?
No, I did watch the game. I missed it. I caught the game, but I most of it. I didn't see the entire game, but I caught a good chunk of it. But I certainly wasn't watching Patriots Steelers. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I was. That was electric. I had an electric night last night. I hammered the Lakers. I hammered the Pats and teases, and I took the Pats also. So it was a good night.
It was Hunter Henry's birthday. Of course, he scores 2 touchdowns. Okay, let's move on
2 targets at first.
Is that what it was?
His first 2 target, or no, third target. First 2 catches were touchdowns.
Toronto versus. Yeah, the Zappy legacy is gonna. This is the beginning. I don't think he's the future.
The Pats are back. The Pats are back.
They're back, all right. You were rooting against them, weren't you? As a Pats fan, you didn't want them to win.
No, I don't care. I really bet on them, so I was rooting. That's all that mattered. Yeah.
Toronto, TJ's Raptors. TJ's probably rooting for the Raptors, but first he's rooting for his fantasy players, I would imagine. They are fully healthy. The Hornets, they are getting Mark Williams back. No LaMelo, but I think that makes them a little bit less interesting with Williams actually playing here. TJ, I kind of like Pascal again. We saw him go off last game. I'm okay with Barnes. It's just a matter of making this stuff work salary wise because the aforementioned DeJounte Murray, different position, but the same exact price. Just looks like a better play, but that'll push his ownership down. And good matchup here versus Charlotte. Charlotte kind of likes to go up and down. Not a great defensive team either. But TJ, Toronto, Charlotte. Give me the whole thing. Give me everything out as far as this game. How much does Williams being back muck up the Charlotte side for you?
Not at all, really. Because I mean, I would have considered Nick Richards if Williams was in, but the main guy I would have had interested in anyways for tournaments would be Terry Rozier. So this is a big pace down spot against a good defensive team for Charlotte. So I don't have a ton of interest in them, but Rozier, for what it's worth, would have a good individual matchup against Schroeder. Not that really matters. And then he's also he's doing everything for this team right now without LaMelo. So he'd be the only one I'd have interest in for Charlotte. And then on the Toronto side of things, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Jakob Poeltl, I really like all of them. Not like smash them into cash and single entry, love them, but in our projected ownership, we're getting like 5% for Siakam, none for Barnes, and 3% for Poeltl. So I definitely would want to at least double Siakam and Poeltl, and then probably get 5 to 10, 15% Barnes.
I see producer Devin chiming in the chat. Yes, the RG squad ride play of the night last night was Zeke Elliott's over 15.5 receiving yards, which he got very quickly. There was no sweat involved in that one. I think he ended up like almost 70 receiving yards in total. So good call, whoever that was.
What a signing. What a signing.
The Zappy Elliott era, it starts today for sure. I guess yesterday it started.
People were doubting Bill all along, and he knew.
He was playing the long game. Kirkwood, what do you want to add as far as this game, as far as Toronto and Charlotte?
I mean, it's still Charlotte. These games can still break out. The total is much lower, obviously. They're playing at a less of a pace without LaMelo. Williams being back hurts their pace a little bit. Terry Rozier probably going to have a tougher time scoring against the Raptors. They've got a lot of good defenders to throw on him. And but his usage is insane. Like TJ said, he's got an exceptional role. They're willing to play him 40 minutes. And, he's going to be around 30% usage. So he's going to chuck. And, so his price is still reasonable for that kind of usage and those kind of minutes. I just think it's a bad matchup for him. But I kind of like PJ Washington maybe. But the one I like the best from the Charlotte side is Brandon Miller. Just because it's kind of a tough night. There's, besides the Hawks value, like he's someone that you could feel okay in a lineup that at his price tag, kind of a little bit below mid-tier here. Or 5,900, is that mid-tier? That's solid mid-tier, right?
It's about mid-tier, yeah, sure. It fits in.
Yeah. It's like the start of it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so that on that side, that's all like I don't really like much from the Toronto side. Maybe Gary Trent for being cheap. And someone that could light it up from 3. Siakam's doing better, certainly could be a good peripheral spot for him, but no one I'm crazy about.
Who is like moving stuff right by their microphone, or crumbling papers? Who is doing that? Is nobody else hearing this, or is that just?
It sounds like someone's eating carrots or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too.
That might have been my mouse clicking doing the screen share.
What is that noise? I thought I heard
got a rat.
Too.
He's got a rabbit back there now.
John, I'll let my mouse a little further away and see if
I wouldn't put it past you, a little rabbit or something.
What's not an insult? You say it like it's a bad thing.
That's not an insult. I wouldn't put it past him. I'm saying.
Usually when you say I wouldn't put past somebody, it's usually a negative. Like you're insinuating something negative. Generally,
no, not at all. I wouldn't put it past me either, Dean.
I wouldn't put it past him being a great guy. Like nobody ever says that sentence.
Well, you just heard it.
Yeah, well, I was the first person in the history of the world to say that. Detroit, the last of the 7:00 games. Detroit takes on the Magic. 229 is the total. The Pistons have not won since 1972. Actually, since October 28th, which is that's the real stat. That's not a chop fact. That's for real. The Pistons have lost 17, 18 games.
That's a low blow right there.
No, that's just a fact. It's not a low blow. I'm just stating facts. They've not won since October 28th.
Not a chop fact. I'm just gonna relay that to see if anyone cares. That's all.
Well, Chop tends to make up his own stats sometimes.
What time is this? Okay, this is 24 minutes in. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
There, you can feel free to timestamp and send it to Chopper. He'll be very upset, I'm sure. The Magic are hopping a fair bit. The matchup, of course, is good against Detroit. They are without some players, too. Fultz has been out for a while. Carter's been out for a while. Let's add Jalen Suggs to the pool of players that are out. We are projecting the starting lineup to be Black, Harris, Wagner. That's Franz Wagner, Banchero, and Goga Batadze. So we're giving that starting nod to Harris. Cole Anthony probably still coming off the bench, but still playing 30 minutes off the bench. Yeah, what a mess Detroit is. But yeah, how much Magic do we like here, Kirkwood? I like the Magic pieces. And also I like everything at 7:00. It's also kind of a concern because, dominoes can fall and I might lose some flexibility if I lock in too many spaces. You tell me, how do you feel about Detroit and Orlando? This game's more about Orlando than it is Detroit, unless you feel otherwise.
Yeah, so it's a great matchup, and obviously for Orlando. And so what are we projecting for a starting lineup? Or do we project
Their starting lineup is already
If only
out.
I ran it off a minute ago.
Oh, sorry.
Their starting lineup is already out. It's Black, Gary Harris, Franz Wagner, Banchero, and
No. The other side, Detroit. Do we have that?
No, we don't have a starting lineup.
We're projecting Hayes, Cunningham, Asar Thompson, which might not be the case. He's kind of fallen the doghouse there. Like, they're losing anyway. I know he's not been good offensively, but Bogdanovich is stealing some of his minutes. Beef Stew we're projecting to be the center, if that's your asking.
That's what I'm saying. So in a weak rim protector and a couple of guys that can score a lot going to the hoop, at least that were in the beginning of the season. Franz Wagner is the first one that comes to mind, and he's expensive, but a little bit of a price. He was in the 8s the last time, right? So it would be Banchero or Wagner, I think, as guys that will attack the hoop and benefit from this. This is the Pistons, so I wouldn't overlook them tonight at all. I'm good with either of them.
Michael in chat, a resident Detroit fan, Piston fan, says not that we'll change many decisions, but Detroit expects Bagley to start and Asar to come off the bench.
And I think that's even better for attacking. Bagley is horrific.
I mean, when was the last time the Magic were 11-point home favorites? But I think it's fully warranted. I might bet the Magic here against this terrible Detroit team. We'll see. I don't like betting big favorites, but or maybe first quarter stuff if Bagley's drawn the start. That's certainly that team as well.
We got picked up on the bootleg head chopper because you said chop facts. He said Pistons are a great team.
That was nice of you to correct his grammar because it says Pistons is a great team. But it was nice of you to call him out on the grammar.
I'm not
TJ,
one to grammar police.
I wasn't doing it. I was just pointing out that you was being I wouldn't put it past you to be a grammar police guy.
That's all right. Do you think I'm good at grammar then potentially? So that's all right.
I wouldn't put it past TJ to roster himself some Orlando Magic players tonight. How do I feel about the Magic? Feel free to talk about Detroit as well, TJ.
No Detroit players in the pool for me, but Banchero and Wagner I think are really nice upper mid-range plays. Anthony is probably my favorite of the whole group, but don't sleep on Joe Ingles. I think he's actually one of my favorite values on the whole slate. 4,200, small forward, power forward eligibility. I like Joe Ingles quite a bit today. He's cheap on Fanduel to 4,100. When he gets upwards of 20 to 25 minutes, he's had some big, nearly 30-point games, which would be great at his price. So in this matchup, could get some extra blowout run if Orlando blows them out. I like getting to some Joe Ingles as a value play.
That was my question is do you think he plays in a blowout? How deep does he play? Because he's old and he's fragile. You think he can close, he can mop up, or not necessarily?
I mean, it depends if it's a 40-point game or a 15-point game,
Yeah. If it's a 15-point game, the starters are probably mostly out there until mostly the ends. But yeah, that's my only hiccup there with the Ingles call. If you want to play the blowout angle, I want to know who's going to get most of the blowout minutes, and you think he will get at least some of them.
Yeah, I think he'll probably get 22 to 24 minutes today.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe upwards of 26, no Jalen Suggs. I could see him getting upwards of 26 minutes today.
He did play 26 minutes once this season.
What's
his blowout?
Where's he on the chop meter for age?
He's got to be 35 Ingles?
36.
I'm both. Yeah, there you go. I'm setting the line at 35. Yeah. But he's a decent little player when he's out there. I'm just concerned. And he's cheap. If you want a cheap piece, sure, why not? Matchup's good as well. The cat seems to prove.
He's got Chop's hairline too. He's got Chop's hairline.
I knew that's what you were doing. I knew. I just want to make sure. 5 minutes
wouldn't
ago,
put it past me. You wouldn't put it past me.
I wouldn't put it past you to like stick up for Chop at the 23-minute mark, and then 4 minutes later, 3 minutes later, you're coming right back, and now all of a sudden you're taking shots.
I'm only going to tell him the 24 minutes. He's not going to sit around for 6 minutes and watch this.
We're so enthralling. Okay, let's move on. New York and Boston. 220.5 is the total. Boston is an 8-point favorite. I'm so like for this, nobody else cares about this, but I'm just the tickets just went on sale for this game, right? Because they didn't know this game was happening until like 3 days ago. Do they sell up the building like in 3 days? How does that work? Nobody cares. But same thing for Phoenix.
I didn't even think about that actually.
Yeah, like these tickets they could not have gone on sale until a couple days ago. So it's just like, and also like I think the play-in stuff, the Indiana game was like a half full crowd apparently. And like Pacer fans couldn't really make plans that they were going to be there. But
what the heck were they doing starting it at 2:00 in Vegas time? Like it was just really weird. But anyway, the best bet, you got to bet the Lakers in the final.
I mean,
I'm gonna be hammering.
It's probably juiced their way too. The Lakers are very much a Vegas team. 4-hour trip, via the vehicle, LA.
No,
to Vegas.
it's been like it was written the whole time. Like LeBron cared about it. They had the best record. They were the first to qualify for home court advantage, and then
Indiana didn't lose. They ran the table.
I understand that, and so did the Lakers were the first ones to run the table. And LeBron has constantly talked about winning this, and that this is the inaugural NBA in-season tourney, and they want LeBron James MVP of this thing.
How many in-season tournament MVPs does he have, or even championships? To my knowledge, 0. Right? That'll settle that debate.
Correct. But how many would he have had?
No. Come on, now you're doing like hypothetical. We can do hypotheticals all day. How many dunks would LeBron have on plumbers if he played against plumbers all day long? Okay. New York and Boston. What? Have you seen
a lot of rumors that there's talk. People are talking about them renaming the tourney MVP award after LeBron.
They should. They absolutely should. He deserves it. Okay. New York takes on the Celtics. Your Celtics. Get excited here, Kirkwood. The problem with the Celtics, 220 is the total again. Boston is an 8-point favorite. The problem here is that Boston's fully healthy. Porzingis is back. New York is fully healthy. So there's really no value in this game. Quentin Grimes is still starting as far as we know. We'll see a new lineup, but he's basically been booted and like just afraid to shoot now. It's pretty terrible what's happened to him. Got to assume he's on his way out. But, this game is happening. But, like, are we rostering anybody here? I'm not. Kirkwood?
It's my Celtics. And I just want to add one thing. Vegas may have not been the best place for Michael Jordan to have an in-season tournament. So
it would have been the very best place for him to have an
except he wouldn't have slept. He'd be up all night. I remember when
then he dropped 60 the next day.
Plumbers.
The gambling game. Yeah. But all right, so this is my Celtics, so I got to come up with something here. But
you don't have to. You could just say pass.
I know. I mean, I would have more faith in Porzingis if he wasn't coming off of an injury. So he would be the guy that I would want immediately. But it's Tatum or nothing in this one.
And but like, is Tatum going to outscore everybody else in his price tier? Like, almost definitely not. And with Porzingis,
I wouldn't say almost definitely not. I wouldn't say like
highly unlikely.
Less probable, yes, but are you getting paid off for it on ownership? And
you would get paid off for it.
Yes.
But Boston, are they gutless for losing in the to
yes,
Indiana?
Especially because I had a lot of money on them, so they are certainly gutless. I'm stupid. They sucked me back in, and I'm worried. Now I'm worried. Now I'm like, okay, we can't do this again because last playoffs were horrible for my bank account.
It's just a tease for the upcoming playoffs, right? This is just,
But they didn't have Porzingis, which is the whole reason that everyone liked the team again. So it's a lot of conflicting thoughts, but it brings up a lot of bad thoughts. A lot of,
The biggest ownership play in this game, by the way, is Randall at 5.7%. Otherwise, nobody's getting more than 2%. TJ, are you playing? I don't see your pool right now. You have anybody in your pool in this game?
Nope, pass.
Okay, there you go. Did you have another thought there, Kirkwood?
The price on Holiday seems a little potentially playable. That's all. Never mind. Let's go. Let's get me out of.
You're trying to make something happen. It's an 11. It's a third.
Yeah,
it's potentially playable. Yeah. Tyler O'Neill traded to the Red Sox. All right, that's interesting. We're waiting for Ohtani news. I'm sure TJ is all over the Twitter, the TweetDeck, the X, looking to see if any Ohtani news breaks. But apparently, there's like real possibilities, allegedly, of him going to Toronto. That'd be pretty cool. Rooting for you there, TJ. Cleveland and Miami Heat. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. The Heat are 1.5-point dogs at home versus the Cavs. 222 is the total. Big news is no Bam Adebayo. Haywood Highsmith has got a back, so he can't play. We know Hero is still out. Karis LeVert out for Cleveland, and Evan Mobley has a knee. He's questionable. And if he doesn't go, we've seen Cleveland play some really, really tight rotations. Also a revenge game for Max Strus. It might be a first blood, at least in Miami first blood. I feel like it might have happened once already in Cleveland. But, TJ, how do we feel about the Cavs and the Heat? And there is some if-then stuff, and I believe we have an if-then set up for if Mobley is out. Jared Allen looked like a pretty solid play. And Mitchell, if you happen to have some salary, looks spectacular as well. Compound that with Bam being out. No rim protection. Go for it, TJ. Cavs, Heat.
No rim protection, but this game is probably going to be pretty slow as well. And so, like, on the Cavs side of things, if Mobley plays, I'm probably not going to have much interest at all. Maybe a little Mitchell, maybe just a touch of Garland, but that would be it. If Mobley is out, then I like those two I'd have a little more interest in. Jared Allen, I think, would become a much better play. And then I'd even think I wouldn't mind taking some shots on Georges Niang either if we happen to get Evan Mobley out. On the Miami side, really it's just Orlando Robinson and Jimmy Butler for me. Everybody else has been priced up. Like, I don't really want to play a 6,100 Duncan Robinson, 6K Hawkes, almost 6K Caleb Martin, almost 6K Kyle Lowry. Like, I guess some of these guys could have some ceilings, but this should be a slow game. And I would rather just go with Robinson, Butler, or a different game entirely. Muted, Dean.
Unbelievable. Bad job by me. I've been doing a bad job with the mute button lately. We'll try to do better tomorrow for sure. But, the Robinson thing, Robinson's really good when it comes to fantasy points per minute. We're expecting, 30 minutes out of him. 30 minutes for Robinson is the projection. He's 1.14 on the season, TK points per minute. I know that Butler gets a boost in the absence of Bam and Hero. I think it's 1.28 fantasy points per minute. He is expensive, but, should be in that pool for making a bunch of lineups. Kirkwood, my Heat, the Cavs, what do you got?
Heat without Bam, Cleveland without Mobley, if we get it like that. Seems like a pretty darn good spot, especially to play Jared Allen after coming off of a bad game of foul trouble at his price tag. So I like that. Orlando Robinson is a good value play, I think. I could get behind, like he just said, the gorgeous one. And Donovan Mitchell, sure. I mean, Caleb Martin went berserk.
His minutes restriction's gone. I think it's safe to say on that. Like, I wouldn't expect him to shoot with that efficiency, obviously, but the minutes are really solidified on him. We're giving him 32 minutes for Caleb Martin, and there's a chance he even exceeds that if things are going well.
Were you laughing? Were you laughing at the MJ would never have muted himself comment?
I did. Yeah, I just saw somebody comment that in chat. That's pretty funny.
Good. That was good.
Yeah, that was well played. It's all right. LeBron mutes himself all the time, obviously, and certainly I do. Not to compare myself to LeBron in any way, but. Other pieces that we're getting, I guess Robinson's the most owned play in this game, at least in the Miami side. Altogether, that's true as well. Niang getting 9%. Man, it's pretty thin, but if we're going Star Scrubsy, he's one of the guys that can be kind of useful. And certainly, I think he would benefit if we happen to lose Mobley. We're projecting him for 23. How many more minutes does he grab? if we lose Mobley? It's got to be a couple more, right?
Wait,
24.
right. So why
Okoro
are we
will get
not
30.
Why do
according
we
to our
not
projection.
want? What if there was a guy
Yeah.
who had revenge? Who they love to run him out for close to potentially 40 minutes at times.
Max Drews.
In a revenge spot.
Yeah.
Why don't we want to play him? Because of 6,300?
Yeah, he's the guy we used to pay like 3.5 for him, or 4K, or 4.5, or maybe 5K, and now he's 6.3. But it's kind of justified, sort of justified.
Speaking of revenge, maybe it's Kevin Love Day.
I mean, revenge has an expiration date.
How many minutes can Love actually play? Is the other part of that question.
You need fresh project. You want fresh. The fresher the revenge, the better. You know.
True.
The 47th timer. Yeah, he's 5K Love. Like, I played Love when he was like 3.5 also, when he was 4K. Remember that? That worked out. But now he's 5K?
I still can't get my head off of the Dean comparison to LeBron James. I'm trying to think of what would be the most what would be any comparison to LeBron James. You have sports fans.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
And you said you not that you compare yourself to LeBron James, and
that's
been sticking in my head, and I've been trying to think of some ways that you and LeBron are actually comparable, similar.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, if you got anything, by all means, throw it out there. But certainly not in like athletically. You know, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say he's got me beat there. I think we're moving on, right? Minnesota, Memphis, moving on. By the way, it's a good time to remind the people in like 15 minutes or so, TJ is going to pull some winners out of the Discord. RotoGrinders.com/Discord. It's streaming across the screen, right, TJ? You can throw it for the people. RotoGrinders.com/Discord. Jump in the live stream chat channel. Thumb up the posted comment. TJ will take your name and throw them on the wheel. I can't believe you got wheel access now, TJ. You're going to spin the wheel in about 15 minutes or so. Is that tricky, compiling the names and doing the show and producing? And the wonder why we're hearing some of those button mashing over there.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it is a little bit, but I'm a pretty good multitasker. It's fine.
All right.
The real test is coming Sunday, because on Sunday, like for NFL football, I'll be producing the entire 3 block, like the Grinders Live, the People Show with you in the morning, the GPP Final Take show with Squirrel and Eric, and then I'm hosting Crunch Time while producing it. And I'm running 150 lineups and a big main lineup. So that's when things are going to be really tough.
You got to wear like the video game, like the gamer headset for the producer when you're the big time producer role. Like you got to play the part, you know.
Landing the plane.
Yeah.
In chat, Ekim says that similar hairline possibly as LeBron. Well, hasn't his hairline changed over the years?
Yeah, he's had a little. He's had a little. Yeah,
he's got a guy.
He's definitely got a guy.
Which is fine.
I saw something the other day with this guy on Twitter, came across with me, where his hairline was like literally to the back of his head, but it was like shaped like it was like the end of his hairline, like out. But that was really funny. Wish I had it to show everyone.
All right. Butto Jenkins was asking, does anybody like Pascal Siakam? We talked about him. I like Pascal a good bit. I'll probably get him one of my lineups. I'm not sure if I can force it. And apparently I also take a charge. Oh no, I flop like LeBron does. That joke was right there. It was sitting right there. Whoever wanted it could take it. Next game up, 13 gamer. Is it 13 or 14? I keep forgetting. Is it 14?
13.
It's
13. Lucky number 13.
It's a lot. Minnesota, Memphis, 213.5 is a total. Memphis is a 5-point dog here at home. Minnesota, mostly healthy. McLaughlin's questionable with a knee. I don't think it matters. Memphis, nothing new there. Same old guys that are out are still out. I will throw this to Kirkwood. How do we feel about Memphis versus Minnesota? We know Memphis is a outside shooting funnel. They give up a lot of threes. They're really good on the inside. So maybe Gobert, not a great play, but maybe we see Edwards make like 5 or 6 threes. Your thoughts as far as Minnesota and the Grizz in the grindhouse?
Anthony Edwards at this low and tiny ownership. And same thing with Desmond Bane are, 2 guys that I can get behind at like absolutely zero ownership that could potentially get you there to the top tonight. Other than that, I think you skip this game.
Yeah, speaking of skipping games, I did skip Washington, Brooklyn. We'll get back to that in a second.
And that's a good game.
My bad. Yeah, my apologies. There's a lot of games. I'm spinning a lot of plates here with a lot of games. TJ spinning plates over there with all of his obligations. Let's knock out Minnesota. Your thoughts here, Minnesota, Memphis, TJ, and then we'll jump back to Washington and Brooklyn. It's fun to pick on Washington.
Dennis Smith Jr. ruled out. Kristaps Porzingis won't have a minutes limit Friday. In terms of Minnesota and Memphis, this game is going to be a full pass for me outside of Anthony Edwards. Everybody else on Minnesota is priced up because they had been missing some people. And then on the Memphis side of things, I basically just never play anybody whenever they're going up against Minnesota. So that's going to be a no from me. The only person I'm playing is Anthony Edwards.
Bane has been awesome and great form. And if this game stays close, if they score some points, like it's Bane and Triple J, and like basically that's it. I just don't know if I can get there. He's fully priced. But like if you want to tell yourself a story, if you're running out a bunch of lineups, I don't hate playing Bane, but again, I'm probably not going to make it happen because I only make a couple lineups. Let's talk about Washington and Brooklyn. 240, big boy total, potential blowout here as well, with Brooklyn being 10-point favorites versus the Wiz because everybody's 10-point favorites versus the Wiz because they are terrible at basketball. We did just lose DSJ. Lonnie Walker is out, and Ben Simmons, of course, still out. For Washington, is Gafford still questionable? I think he is. Shamit's got a rib, so he can't play either. TJ, Washington, Brooklyn. Do we have Smith projected in or out? I can't remember if he did. We'll pull it up at this time. I don't know if that affects a ton, though. He did close last game, I believe.
I'm refreshing right now just to see if how that has adjusted, what we have that in for. So right now, with
Red
Dennis
Sox
Smith
making
Jr.
moves. Sorry.
With Dennis Smith Jr. out of there. Yeah, we did
Hold
not
on,
have
Kirk.
him out before, so it does impact things just a little bit.
Kirk, what are you pointing out the Tyler O'Neill signing?
Yes.
Where were you five? You were right. You were like 5 minutes behind.
You were on
show.
mute. You were on mute.
Oh, did I say that on mute? Oh, my bad. I got my face.
No, unfortunately, that one we talked about the Tyler O'Neill one already.
Oh,
come on, you should have went along with it.
Thank you, TJ.
Come on.
I have to be the keeper of. When I'm producer, I have to be the keeper of truth.
TJ's
I want you back on our side.
I am not Dean's guy. I am just I am an impartial bystander, keeper of truth and justice and freedom when I am the producer.
Wait, whose guy are you? If you're not my guy, whose guy are you?
I'm the chat's guy.
Oh, come man, I'll be the people.
No, you're not man of the people.
You're a free agent?
No, Kirk is a man of the people. Everyone
hired
knows that.
gun.
Yeah, Kirk Dees is a man of the people for sure.
You're so agreeable with that. He just lied.
Especially Butthole. 3 seconds. Especially Butthole. My man Butthole.
All right, TJ, let's talk about Brooklyn and Washington. I guess
and
it's
the
more
Don,
Brooklyn
the
side
Don
than the Washington
Easy.
side.
Any juggalos.
Sorry. I feel like that's a bit.
All right, so Washington and Brooklyn, I feel like there should be more here that I like than there actually is, but most of these guys seem appropriately priced to me. So on Washington, I'm looking at if Gafford plays, I like Kuzma, I like Gafford, and I like Coulibaly potentially in tournaments too. I think he's somebody I wouldn't mind sprinkling in. But Gafford and Kuzma would mainly be the two that I like. If Gafford's out, I would probably like Coulibaly even more. I think this one would be more likely to go small. And then I'd maybe consider guys like Avdia, Kispert, heck, maybe even Danilo Gallinari as well. And then Muscala, that would only be if he hit the starting lineup. But on the Brooklyn side of things, it's Washington. I want to like more. But it's just Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton for me. That's it. And if Gafford's out, I'm going to like Claxton even less because, yeah, he'll smash while he's out there, but he probably only plays like 24 minutes. Cam Thomas is by far my favorite play on Brooklyn today. I could easily see him having just a 40, 45 real point game against a terrible Washington team. Like he wants to shoot as much as possible. And now he's facing a team that's not going to play any defense. That's just, this game screams good Cam Thomas game at incredibly low ownership. I want to get there today. That's like the only reason I'm potentially just not thinking of going to like overweight on Embiid and Doncic and Jokic and SGA. And I would love to get as much Booker as possible today. And I still will. As you can see, I bumped his projection up here so I can get more of him. But I just love this mid-range today. How great is it to be able to just build a lineup around DeJounte Murray? Maybe you can look at these Orlando players. You can look at Siakam, Barnes. You can look at DeRozan, Kuzma, this 8K range. I just absolutely love today. And then you get lower, the Cam Thomases, Cole Anthony, Anthony Simons, like all these guys are just such strong plays today. So I don't think it's crazy to just stick in the mid range and ignore the upper tier in some lineups, not all lineups, but in some lineups. And that's kind of how I'm looking to go about it. But Kuzma and then Gafford if he's in for Washington, and then Claxton if Gafford's in, but mostly Cam Thomas are who I'm playing in this game.
Yeah, he needs a bounce back game. I think Dennis Smith's the guy that closed over him last time. Cam Thomas was horrendous versus Atlanta last time out. And that's the thing with him. If he's not scoring, he's really going to implode your lineup because that's his main way of getting there. I know he's a Kirkwood's guy. He's hyped him up in this show multiple times. It's certainly a good bounce back spot. What do you got, Kirkwood, as far as final thoughts when it comes to Brooklyn?
I love Mikal Bridges in this spot. Fast-paced game. Someone who can run the floor really well. Obviously the pace-up spot, Wizards second in pace. Also, they're 19 in opponent steals and blocks. Both of them. So they're plus matchup there. If this game stays competitive, I agree with TJ on the Kuzma. It's always Kuzma really with me with this team. I don't really like Gafford so much. I'm fine with him. I do like Nick Claxton. I mean, Washington is the top fantasy points matchup for opposing centers. So Claxton is cheap. So I think he could go off. I think Mikal could go off. I think you could play even both of them or one of them and run it back with Kuz, and then start floating in some Atlanta value all around it and see where you end up. But it sounds like a good plan to me if this game stays competitive.
We got the Warriors at OKC, 236.5 is the total. Pretty high, pretty tight. OKC, 3-point favorites. Body parts, OKC is fully healthy. Chris Paul, his entire body is questionable. He's ill. He had the fish, not feeling particularly well. So we'll probably get an update at some point. That's an 8:00 game. We do an if-then on that, and it's nothing really dramatic. Curry is a somewhat positive play. Draymond's about a break-even play. Otherwise, everybody else is not looking good on Golden State because, they're just all overpriced. Even if we lose Chris Paul, they're still overpriced. SGA is spectacular. We keep talking about, a lot of studs, certainly throw him in the pool. I don't believe he's going to be owned, which is pretty interesting. Let me jump to that game. Last I saw it was like 1 or 2%, which is kind of silly, but they also kind of get it. Jalen Williams is the only guy really getting a bunch of ownership in this game at 15%. Yeah, we're seeing Curry around 2, SGA around 2. Giddey, his minutes have just kind of fallen off down to 25 now is the current projection. His price is somewhat adjusting, but not fully adjusting to this new role. It seems just a negative adjustment for him. But, TJ, this game feels like it should be more popular than it should, but, it's not going to be popular. And are you playing Warriors in OKC?
I like sprinkling in some of it for tournaments, so I don't think anybody from this game is going to make my main lineup, but I do have some more than pick-em plays on Prize Picks today for Chet Holmgren, and so I like him in GPPs as well. I don't think he's too expensive yet. I think he's just kind of on the cusp, so I don't mind some Chet Holmgren. Jalen Williams, I'll sprinkle in. Steph Curry, I'll do some mini game stacks here, maybe an SGA and Steph team, maybe a Chet Holmgren and Steph team, something like that. But that's pretty much about it for me. It's very easy to get overweight. Like I'm playing 20 lineups in the 20 max. So I'll make 2 teams with Steph. One of them will have Chet, one of them will have SGA, and I'm heavily overweight on all these players.
TJ, is it last call? Is it last call for the giveaway? Because you got to
We'll go a few more. We'll go a few more because we need 27 more likes to give away a second week of RG Premium, and we still have 5 games left on the slate after this one. So let's keep rifling through for a while. You got a little more time. Hit the thumbs up in the Discord live stream chat on my message, and you're going to be entered to win a free week of RG Premium. Make sure we get those likes way up on the YouTube page as well, and we will give up a second week of RG Premium. Get it up to 75. We are getting closer now, so keep smashing the like button. But let's give the people a little more time and go through a few more of these games.
Should also specify that that's not just for basketball, that's for football, that's for UFC, it's for golf. If they're golfing, are they golfing right now? I don't know.
Maybe.
Optimizer, somebody's golfing. I'm not sure if they're DFS golfing. The optimizer, the expert rankings, the tags, the core, the articles, everything, all the bells, all the whistles, everything. And not just that, but and I hope you're okay with this, Kirk, when I haven't talked to you in a few minutes or so, but I just thought it was a good segue to talk about SimLabs. SimLabs, you can use the power of SimLabs to generate DFS lineups through the power of, wait for it, simulation. It combines the data from every aspect of the slate to churn out lineups that match your preferences. Just a few clicks, you can have hundreds of well-built correlated lineups ready to go for whatever contest type you're playing for. Be sure to check out the link in our description now for more information. All combo and NFL premium subscribers right now have access to NFL SimLabs. This used to be in beta. It somehow beat Top Shots. Top Shots, I think, still in beta. It's somehow out of. I think it's out of beta now. I assume that's why the read has changed, and now it's getting merged with the NFL combo premium subscribers and combo subscribers as well. But there you go. Have at it. Your last chance to play for free was the Pittsburgh New England game. Kirkwood, your thoughts? As far as OKC?
I need to find like the time to go over it quickly. Maybe I schedule an appointment with TJ. TJ, are you proficient with SimLabs?
I am satisfactory. I would say I'm meeting. If I get a report card, I'd say I'm meeting expectations, not exceeding. Blender would be like the guy who I'd say really knows what he's doing with that.
Watch his show, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock in the morning. He talks about it a fair bit.
Tough time with the kiddo.
Oh, well, you don't have to watch it live. You can watch it, you can watch the playback. You can't interact with Blender. He's got a Discord channel, but you got to be a premium member to jump in. I assume if you access the premium, he runs some, I know he hosts some Q&A stuff in the Blender channel. I think it's once or twice a month, something like that. Or just DM him. He knows who you are. He probably would help you
out.
And
I've also been spending a lot of time on my weather simulations product that we're going to
for baseball upcoming. Yeah, still in beta though, right? You're still in beta.
I can confirm. I've seen some of the behind the scenes stuff, and it looks really, really
blows you. I know, it's crazy. And like,
it's almost like you can't believe it actually exists. It's so incredible.
The problem
is going to be a big
pending
edge this MLB season.
Should Roth watch out? Should Roth be concerned? Is the
question. We're still negotiating, so we're negotiating. Maybe we bring him aboard. We've talked about buying
95-5 split. He gets 95.
Talked about buying, giving Roth a little bit of ownership and taking him over.
Golden State, OKC. Kirkwood, what do you got?
Yeah, I do. Man, I just remember that game that Chet went off against the Warriors earlier in the season, and so I do have some interest with him. In the bounce back spot, coming off of a rough game, 2 for 9 shooting. Not a must play by any means, but someone that could do, at 7,700, someone that could go off. So I like that. Shea, obviously, you can always do it. You can always play. Jalen Williams is cheap for the mid range stuff, and probably, man, would you play? Did you guys have any thoughts on Kenrich?
I don't like that he's going to be kind of owned.
It's just like that. Like Giddy is like falling off. Like how much?
Yeah.
How much is there room for more takeover and like better minutes for him?
So just look at that projection.
On a night.
Not to cut you off, Kirkwood, but it's a 3.2K salary. His projection's 13 points. Like I can't do that. I can't do that. I will find another way. Going around the industry.
Yeah. Well, actually,
is somebody projecting him higher?
Let me see here.
Is he projected?
Okay. RG is pretty low. He's like 15.5 at some other places. We're lower on him. We're probably right, and I would give them credit. But like, there is some potential that they start phasing. There's also talk about Giddy, them getting rid of Giddy.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, we'll see. He's certainly falling out to some degree, and just the way the team works, he's not melding as well. I guess just the way the pieces go, he's just not been. Last year he was spectacular. Maybe Holmgren coming back is kind of eating off him a little bit, but anyways, we got one more game, TJ, and then we spin the wheel. Does that work for you?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, one more game. We're talking about. Let's see, we have 4 left.
And I want to bring up too that before we dive into this Spurs and Bulls game, that There seemed to be a little bit of confusion in chat. Even if you're a premium member already, you can still do this giveaway. You can still do the giveaway. It just gets discounted off of the premium subscription that you already have. So even if you're
I didn't know
premium,
that.
you just get a week free. You don't have to be a brand new user. So still go in the live stream chat on Discord, hit that thumb, and then hit the thumbs up on YouTube as well. We got to get these likes way up. There's 300 people watching. We're only at 65 likes. Come on, smash that like button.
We got Houston and Denver. 221 is the total. Denver is a 9-point favorite here versus the Rockets. The battle of two of the best, most fun centers in the league. We got the Joker taking on Şengün. As far as ownership in this game, is any going to be popular? Not really. Jabari Smith is the most popular play here at 9% currently. Everybody else below that. The Joker, you can get him very cheap. I think that Embiid's going to be more popular because he's cheaper and he's got a better matchup. And Murray's back now for Denver. So, not that the Joker is bad, but like he's not going to be like 2 points per minute necessarily. Şengün spectacular, but you got to pay full price. He's in the 9s, 9-1. Really, really expensive. He certainly pays it off plenty, but there's really no discounts here. Both teams are fully healthy. Thompson's still not playing for Houston just yet. I saw he was crushing in the G League, and good for him. I'm curious to see what happens when he comes up and like whose minutes he takes away, or if he plays a ton or at all. But that'll be something to monitor for another day. TJ, I don't like a lot here. I want to like some stuff, but I don't like a lot. It's just hard to make the pieces work here. You tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I don't like a lot either for the Spurs, like Wembanyama and maybe some Cedi Osman as long as he's still starting again. I think are both
TJ,
viable.
different game.
Oh, where are we? Aren't we supposed to be on this one?
Houston, Denver.
Why'd you skip the 8:30 game?
I don't know. I did do a whole talk up about Houston, Denver for a minute.
I was doing Discord stuff, adding names to the field. I was just going in order of the time.
My bad. Bad job hosting by me.
Okay,
Gafford officially in.
Denver. Houston, Gafford officially in. I think he's playable for GPPs, but Houston and Denver, I think it's just the two big men. Jokic is in play always. Şengün is in play always. I don't think you're considering either of them for single entry today, but we're projecting both of them for like 1% ownership right now. So if you're playing lots of lineups, get 5% of them in GPPs, get 1 of 20. If you're playing 20 lineups, get 10 to 50, get like 10 of the lineups in 150, and you're good to go with these guys. So I would definitely say get over the field in large field GPPs, but you neither of them are priority for single entry or cash.
Yeah, Kirkwood and chat give me the business for messing up there or not setting up TJ for success. Got to tune into the Tournament Takes podcast if you want to hear what a real professional host sounds like. Anything else here as far as this game, or shall we move on? Shall we do the giveaway? Is that what we're doing now, TJ?
Let's do this one last game because we'll go last call right now because there's a bunch more names that just got added in that I just gotta say one thing quickly. People are talking about a potentially FTSA award for me as the host of that show. I don't know. That's what I'm.
People are saying. A lot of people are saying.
People are talking.
Probably in the secret chat. I'm not gonna lie. I've not seen those rumors you're throwing out there. But I wish you the best of luck. I hope you take it down. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for you. Chicago, San Antonio, 224.5 is a total. It's not high, but it is tight, right? Chicago is a 2-point favorite. They are without Zach LaVine. Alex Caruso is going to give it a go, despite he's got that toe and he's always going to the locker room, but he's expected to play. Torrey Craig also expected to play. San Antonio fully healthy. We saw last game, Devin Vassell jumped in the starting lineup. They booted Sohan out. Sohan now coming off the bench. I presume that's going to be the state going forward. They also threw in Cedi Osman in the starting lineup. But TJ, sound like you wanted to talk about this game, Chicago at San Antonio. It's all yours. Go for it.
Yeah, so on the San Antonio side, like Wemby just always has a big ceiling because he could get 3 steals, block 5 shots, put up 20 and 10. So Wemby, even though it's not a good matchup, he always has a nice little ceiling here. So I'm keeping him in my pool. Cedi, as long as he starts, I think is viable just because of how cheap he is and we don't have a lot of value. But the more interesting side for sure is Chicago, because Chicago, like San Antonio, is one of the best matchups on the board, and they're without Zach LaVine. Yes, these guys have been priced up, but so I think DeMar DeRozan, Kobe White, they're kind of priced out of the single entry cash game discussion. but they definitely still have ceilings for GPPs. And then Alex Caruso, I think, is a viable value. I think he's totally fine. And if you're running 150 lineups, I always include Andre Drummond.
Kirkwood?
Yeah, I echo what Tia said. I'm back in on Devin Vassell. The ramp up here now that back lineup, and Victor Wembanyama can break any slate. Bulls are horrific. But other than I'll tell you one thing. You recommended, you were so high on Vooch the other night, and I went with him. I wasn't happy about that.
He was great, and then he didn't. What it was
he just never.
Right?
He just never does enough.
No, he didn't quite get there. I didn't think he didn't implode one, but I think what happened is it was a blowout, if I'm not mistaken. I like Vooch again tonight. There's a little bit of sticker shock to Kobe White, but his role, he's the guy that can put 30 points in the bucket. That wouldn't shock us. He kind of has to.
He's getting better and better. He's playing better and better, and this is his time to make a statement. So with Levine, getting rid of Levine and potentially, so it frees him up. So I'm good with him. I mean, he's been crushing.
This is one of my, I don't want to say sneaky game stacks, but I like the idea of having Wemby, one of DeRozan or Vooch, and maybe like one other piece, maybe a White. I'm okay with Jetty as a cheapie. Caruso's just hard for me to get there because I just can't trust he's going to play the entire game. And he's got to get there through stocks, basically, right? He's not going to score a bunch. He peppers the box score, but yeah, I guess he's cheap enough, but he's still not even as cheap as he used to be. He's 5-1. But we do have that giveaway to get to, TJ. Let's see. Let's spin the wheel. Let's pull it up. We're going to give away. Are we going to give away 1 week or 2 week? What do we have as far as
we got enough likes on YouTube, so we will be giving away a full 2 weeks of RG Premium. 1 week to 2 different people. Let's see here. Let's pull up the wheel of names, and bang, there it is.
I got a green, yellow Exacta box.
All right.
Actually, it's a Quinella. It's a Quinella. It can go either way.
I'm gonna go red green. 'Tis the season. It's Christmas, so we're gonna go red green on this one.
Yellow blue.
I got a little ketchup, little mustard.
Let's see what do we got here. Slowing down. Don
Yeezy.
Green.
J Frey 1972 is our very first winner. Congratulations. J Frey 1972. Make sure you reach out to Devin on Discord at RG Producer in our Discord, or on Twitter, wherever you want. Just reach out to Devin. He can
Devin will get him. I think Devin's
that 1 week of RG Premium. But just in case he doesn't, make sure you get that in there as well. So next up, we'll remove J Frey. We got one more. If it's red, we're good. We got the Christmas spirit here. 2nd week of RG Premium. Let's go.
Oh, what color was that? I missed it. The first one?
The first one was green.
Green.
Back to back green, or is it gonna be blue?
Oh, I don't know.
It's blue.
Thank you.
DWL actor. DWL actor. Or Lactor. Is it DW Lactor or is it DWL actor? We may never know. Tell us in chat which one it is. Congratulations. You've won a free week of RG Premium. Make sure you contact Devin. And congratulations to the two of you, J Frey and DW Actor.
There are accusations being made in chat that this is
you know what?
Not in the up and up. I don't like that.
I want to know. I want to recount these votes at some point because I want to get my man Butthole Jenkins needs a couple weeks here free on the house.
Was he even on the board?
Unfortunately, Butthole Jenkins did not thumbs up the message in Discord.
Butthole. There was one rule. You had one job. Okay. We got 3 games to get through. Whatever we don't talk about, obviously, the crunch time crew, they're going to knock out. They're coming in about 5-10 minutes or so. Sacramento, Phoenix, 235 is the total. Sacramento is a 2-point favorite. It's high and it's tight, and we have some potential fantasy value with the absence of Kevin Durant. Not just Kevin Durant. We know Beal's out, but Grayson Allen also out for the Phoenix Suns. As for Sacramento, they are fully healthy unless you think Chris Duarte being questionable matters. It doesn't. We got to be quick and efficient here, TJ. I guess the focus here is on the Suns with the absence of Durant.
For sure. I think Kirk Deese's guy on the Kings, De'Aaron Fox, is absolutely in play. He's shown a massive ceiling this year. He's gone over 60 points 3 times in the last 3 weeks. And so I think we definitely want to keep him in the pool, especially in a lineup. If we're playing like 3 Suns in it, I love the idea of throwing it back with De'Aaron Fox. He's the only Sacramento player I'm really interested in playing. I don't think I'm going to get just a bonus. But Devin Booker, I think, is probably the second best spend up on the slate behind DeJounte Murray. Like, I think it would rank DeJounte Murray 1, Devin Booker 2. I'd probably try and get both of them into cash game today. As you can see, I bumped up Devin Booker to 60%, a 60 projection today to make sure I could get lots of him. Outside of him, Nurkic and Eric Gordon, I think, are fine. But their prices are kind of tough to get to. Okaji, I think, is okay as well. But my favorites to save some salary from this team are going to be Jordan Goodwin and Keita Bates-Diop. Those are the 2 guys I'm going with the most.
I am hopeful that Booker is only 18% owned. If 4 out of 5 teams are not playing Booker tonight, I love it because I'll be more than 18 or 20% on Booker. Anything you want to add here, Kirk? What do you feel basically the same? We could move on otherwise.
I just want to say quickly that De'Aaron Fox, 5th in points per game at 30.3 on the season, and Nikola Jokic, 28.6 point per game, down to 8th. I don't know.
The insinuation is that Fox is better than Jokic. Is what
I didn't insinuate anything. I'm just spitting out facts here, Dean. Facts.
I mean, you can manipulate facts however you want to manipulate them, but sure.
Fox and Booker sounds like if you can make that work, like that sounds like a nice little fun late night hammer.
Dallas, Portland, 232 is the total. Portland, 9-point dog. We don't know about Brogdon and his knee. He's currently questionable. It's 10 o'clock as far as the tip-off time, so you probably will not know that until well into the slate. DeAndre Ayton is questionable. He also has a knee. We know Jeremy Grant is still out with his concussion. Luka has been absolutely annihilating the world. Dropped a triple-double the other night in the first half. The only thing that stopped him was the scoreboard. Grant Williams is still out for Dallas, as is Josh Green. We've seen Dante Exum do some things, getting some optimizers. He's not a great fantasy point minute guy, but it looks like he's going to keep starting going forward. Kirkwood, I'll give it to you. Dallas and Portland, what say you?
It's Simons, man. Like, so everybody, Portland does what you think they are not going to do. They've done this all season long. You think that they're going to rest Brogdon. Makes sense. They're not push him. They run him out full strength. You think Simons is going to be potentially, on a minutes cap in his first game back. He plays 37 minutes. 37 minutes, 33% usage. Potential for Brogdon to be out. I don't know. It makes the most sense for Brogdon to be out. You don't mess with his knee. He has chronic knee problems. They yanked him quickly in that game, in the last game the other night. So if I had to guess, I think he doesn't play, but Portland, you never know. So, but Simons is 6,800 is a smash.
That's kind of where I'm at too, and I've been wrong on guessing Portland because I'm trying to use logic and reason, but the Brogdon stuff's been weird, and the Simons thing, like he has minutes, there is no minutes limited to him, and he's an awesome play if Brogdon doesn't go. He's a fine play as is, but if Brogdon doesn't go, he turns into a really good play. Of course, the blowout's there, but Portland also plays their guys pretty deep in the blowouts because they don't really have much else to play. TJ, what do you want to add, if anything, as far as Dallas, Portland? Anything you're stressing here? And touch on the Dallas side too. Luka's amazing, but like we all know that.
Luka's amazing, just tough to get to. I would rather get to Embiid, but I probably would put Luka ahead of Nikola Jokic tonight. Anthony, and then Dante Exum, of course, is a reasonable value play today as well, probably in the cash game conversation. Anthony Simons, great play. Duop Reith, also in the cash game conversation, is probably one of the better values on the slate as well. Hello to Kirkwood's puppy. We got the crunch time crew waiting in the wings. Let's get this one last game quick.
All right. Yeah, I did mean to mention, I'm glad you mentioned the cheapie for Portland. They all got in foul trouble. It was a really weird game. I think at least one player, if not 2 players, fouled out for Portland. Reith was one of them that was in trouble. Clippers, Jazz, 225 is the total. I think it's a pretty quick one. Clippers are 8-point favorites. The Jazz are not fully healthy, but mostly healthy with getting back both Olynyk and Clarkson. I guess they're going to continue starting Yurtseven going forward, but it's really wild. It's not Walker Kessler, but whatever. I don't think any of it matters. The Clippers, Tice, a midday downgrade. He's ill. Plum Dog, he's also out. So some of their depth might take a hit. I should say, like their height would take a hit. Maybe they would go small here against Utah. Maybe Zubac gets a few more minutes. We'll see. Stay tuned on that. But Kirkwood, Clippers, Jazz, I don't think there's any priorities in this game. You tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I think I think Harden just because of price, and he's been playing well. But other than that, I don't really like a lot from this game whatsoever.
Yeah, ownership wise is, let's see, I'm just jumping on over here. Harden's getting 22%, Zubac at 13%. And again, if Tice is out, maybe he's a little bit more interesting. I don't know if it's guaranteed if he get a minutes bump, but maybe he gets a 28, 29, something like that. Kawhi getting some ownership, but nobody on Utah getting owned at all. What do you have here, TJ? Whatever you want to add, and of course we have the Crunch Time crew coming in here in just a second.
X's across the board on Utah. I'm not going to play any Utah player today. The Clippers, I think you can play one of them, and basically any of George, Kawhi, James Harden, and Zubats, all of them are unplayed today.
Yeah, and we've seen Westbrook basically get iced too. Can't play him anymore unless you're playing for like a goofy blowout, but that's probably not going to work out either. Do we have a feel it in your plums play before we have the Crunch Time crew officially jump on? I know they're coming in right now, but the people are going to want it. Kirkwood, you got to set the standard. Who do you feel it in the plums? Who's breaking the slate for you?
Anthony Simons.
All right, see it and raise it, TJ.
I am going to go with. I want someone that's kind of somewhat sneaky here. Let's go Pascal Siakam.
I like Pascal. What country do you reside in, TJ? Just one more time, if you don't mind.
The home of Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, the future home of Shohei.
We'll see. Stay tuned. Kevin Roth, what's going on, Roth? Welcome. Happy Friday.
Thank you. I've got somebody outside my house just blasting a subwoofer so loud. Like, I feel like I'm in high school. They got the 212s in the back, and it is vibrating my whole home right now, Dean.
I thought I heard a 747, and that's what it was. It was not a 747. It was that's what that background noise was.
That may have been someone else's home. I heard a plane fly over as well, but no, this is just straight up H-Town outside my house right now.
We've heard dogs and cats and babies, and now we'll add that to the show. I don't know what we have going forward, what Taylor and Kristi can offer, but we'll see what kind of background noise. Kristi, this is your first basketball show, I believe, at least the first one I've been throwing off to you.
It is. It's first debut of the season for basketball. So glad to be on here tonight, guys. We have a big one to boot.
Welcome. Yeah, I know you do a lot of content on the Sunday shows for football. Obviously, a lot of written content as well. We should just step aside because there's a 13 gamer. It's a lot to talk about. Give them 40 minutes. Myself and Kirkwood and TJ, we do appreciate y'all watching. Do hit that like button. Stay all the way up the lock. Taylor and Kristi, they got you covered. Roth as well. It's the Fanduel sponsor Crunch Time. It starts now. Roth is taking it away.
Let's do it. Good stuff as always, Dino and squad. Welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen. This is Crunch Time, sponsored by Fanduel, bringing on two of the sharpest minds in the biz here, helping to walk us through the slate. So we got Taylor in the house. Taylor, how are you, man?
Doing well. A few more games than we had yesterday, but excited to get into it.
Yeah, this is a very busy slate, and I'm thrilled. I don't play favorites. I love everybody that I work with, but if I did have a favorite, Kristi would be right at the top of that list. Kristi, it's so good to work with you again.
Oh my gosh, likewise. I was so excited to be on the show here and knowing I was going to be doing it with you today. And first show with Taylor too. I've been reading your content, doing a great job over at RG too. So can't wait to do this with you guys. It'd be great.
Well, we are thrilled to have you. For those who don't know, because it is your first time on an NBA show, it's a new crowd. How many live finals, just roughly, have you locked in? I don't know, over the past few years.
Yeah, I think I'm up to 15 or 16 live finals in the last few years. So
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And I don't know, maybe we'll lock in another one tonight. Are you in the live final streets? Is there a contest tonight?
There is. I'm actually not in it tonight since I was knew I was doing the show and everything, but definitely in some contests, quite a few on FanDuel tonight. So we're going to definitely take down some tournaments for the people tonight.
That is what I love to hear. And Taylor, I assume you're going to give us kind of a cash overview, and Kristi, you will be our tournament expert.
Sure. You got it.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me as well. I'm looking at this slate, Taylor, and it's like, all right, I play Luka, and then I figure it out. Like, that's my mindset. Luka. I remember when I was a new father, and I was like, I am going to be the best I can be at every aspect of life. That wears off after a few months, but he's still in that mode. He's still Luka dad. He's putting up 90 fantasy points. But can you get to him reasonably in cash, or no, he's just too much?
I don't think you really need to. There's a lot of good stuff in the mid-range, especially point guard. So not a must in cash, but he does have the new dad energy. So tournaments, fire him up all day.
Yeah, maybe he'll just come in at lower ownership for me because I will not play a lineup without him. Like if I lose, that's fine, but I'm not losing to him dropping 90 fantasy points. I'll tell you that. Taylor, why don't you start us off with kind of a walkthrough? We like to start on Fanduel, as this show is sponsored by Fanduel, and walk through your thoughts in cash. And if you want to zoom out and let us know, any important situations that we're missing or that we need to monitor, that'd be great too.
So the only news we're waiting on is Evan Mobley. He's questionable for the Cavs. Malcolm Brogdon for Portland, and Chris Paul questionable. That's not a huge deal in the later game tonight, but I think Mobley is probably the big one. The only issue is they have a bad matchup against Miami, so it's not a huge needle mover, but it would open up a lot of minutes in the front court for them. But the big one we already got is Trae Young is out, which opens up a ton of stuff on Atlanta, obviously, as the usage leader. That's kind of why we don't need Luka necessarily in cash, is because you have DeJounte Murray for 79 on FanDuel. He's just a guy you play in cash and don't overthink it. They are pretty big underdogs against Philly, but the usage should be there for him. He should have the ball a lot more in his hands. So easy cash play there, both sites. James Harden, another guy, he's kind of around 8K. As always, for the Clippers, they have a good matchup as well against Utah. There's some blowout risk, but I don't really fully trust the Clippers to do that. So happy to play Harden in all formats as well. Anthony Simons, a little cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DK. Great play as well. 37 minutes the other night in his debut, or his return, rather. Good matchup for them as well against the Mavs, who aren't stopping anybody. And Dante Exum is a guy, cheap point guard you can play. They're a bit shorthanded as well tonight. He's been playing a big role of late for them. And let's see. Shooting guard, DeJounte Murray you can play here. Harden you can play here. Simons you can play here. Bogdan Bogdanovic is a guy, 6,100. Decent mid-range play. Eric Gordon, 55 on FanDuel. No KD for them tonight as well. Decent role, decent usage for him. Let's see. Kind of freezing up a little bit here. Hang on, I'm having an issue loading. Can you throw it to Kristi real quick? I need to.
Yeah, that's fine. Kristi, let's keep rolling through kind of that shooting guard position and what you think are the staple plays.
Yeah. So like Taylor mentioned, there's a lot that you can play at shooting guard too. You've got Simons in there too, Murray, Harden, like he mentioned. Some other guys that you can kind of look at. I do like Bogdanovic on that Atlanta game. With Trae Young being out, I think he's a really good cash game piece. And I think you can play him at small forward as well. So I do think that is a good option there too. I think you mentioned Eric Gordon as well. So I think those are kind of the guys that you're looking at, point guard and shooting guard for cash game plays.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Taylor, you back and ready to take this to small forward?
Yeah, we're good. I like Banchero here. Orlando's in a good spot here. I think they're playing. Who are they playing? Detroit, who's on an 18-game losing streak. Banchero's been decent this season. Good salary on FanDuel. You can play him in either forward spot, so that looks pretty appealing. Sadiq Bey, another Hawk we can play. Small forward only on FanDuel. Should see more usage, of course, without Trae Young. Jalen Johnson is also missing for them. Cam Johnson, the Nets are playing the Wizards, which is kind of the glorious matchup of the night.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that's probably the worst defense in the league. Play at a really fast pace. Pretty good price point on him. 6K flat on FanDuel. Don't mind that. Chetty Osman for the Spurs started the last game. The minutes were up a little bit as a result. They benched Jeremy Sohan. So He's a decent punt if you're looking for a punt at forward. Don't mind paying up for Wemby either. More of a tournament thing, I think, but still getting cash. That game has a high total or a decent total and a pretty tight spread against Chicago. So Wemby looks pretty good here. Keita Bates-Diop, we are expecting to start in place of Durant for the Suns. 28-minute projection last I saw. Not a great per minute guy, but the role should be there. They're without 3 starters tonight, including Grayson Allen. So we could be diving for some Phoenix value on this slate. And moving to center, I mentioned Wemby. We got the Daniel Gafford news. He is in kind of a fringe cash play. I'd rather play Clint Capella in that range. Not a great usage guy, but minutes have been decent for him. Pretty good price point. The matchup against Embiid's a little scary, but 64 for Capella, I think is totally fair and probably the guy I'd go to in cash.
Very good. Okay, Kristi, let's talk tournaments here. And if you don't mind, start with what the chalk is and how you're handling it. Or on a slate this big, do you not really care? Like, I think Simons and DeJounte, maybe, or is that the chalkiest guys?
I think those will be two. Yeah, I think Murray will really be the chalkiest guy for sure. I think it is fair to say Simons will be too. But on a slate that's big, you really don't have to get too different. I think you can play a lot of chalk and maybe get 2 or 3 plays in there that are different. We'll kind of go through those right now because I think there's some good ones in there. Kind of starting at the point guard position. A few guys that I'm looking at. One is Terry Rozier. He is a guy with LaMelo Ball out. His usage is really strong, still at a really good price point in that Charlotte game there. So I think he's a really interesting play. Tyrese Maxey, in that Atlanta game, I kind of like getting DeJounte Murray and Tyrese Maxey, and he's still really, really affordable at just $9K on FanDuel. Great matchup, like him a lot. Malcolm Brogdon, still not sure if he's going to be in the game, and I think he's a good pivot off of Simons. We've seen the upside that he brings to the table. He could easily put up 50 fantasy points, and it wouldn't surprise us. So I like that as a good option there too. On the shooting guard side, I really like Devin Booker. I think, with no Durant tonight, I think he's a great play. And he's expensive. There is enough value to get there. We talked about Dante Exum, Gary Harris, Chetty Osman, some different plays that are a little bit cheaper to make it work. So I think he makes an excellent tournament play and pivot. There's a lot of great Orlando plays tonight. Jalen Suggs is out. So I think as you look at Cole Anthony, he's priced up now at 7.1K. So I think he's an interesting play and someone that, I think is a great tournament. I mean, you could probably play him in cash games too, but I do think he's interesting for tournaments. So like him quite a bit. I'd also throw Cam Thomas in there. He's a guy that has flashed big upside. I like that game. I think Cameron Johnson is going to be just a little bit more popular tonight because we've got him kind of popping in some of our optimals. So Cam Thomas, I think, is a good differentiator in tournaments. I know Taylor talked quite a bit about, getting to the power forward too. Paulo Banchero. I think a lot of those Orlando guys are great. Franz Wagner, all good plays. But for tournaments, I know it's been mentioned, but I love Victor Wembanyama. The upside that he has is the tough matchup tonight, but we've seen him put up 8 or 9 steals easily in a game and just change the complete dynamic of the game and upside. And so I have a lot of exposure to him in tournaments tonight. So I think he's a fantastic play. I should have mentioned too, DeMar DeRozan. I know that's Noto has him tagged today. That Chicago game, I think, is a great one. And I should have mentioned too, even Kobe White in that game too. He's really priced up, but he's really been playing well without Zach LaVine. So I wanted to be sure to mention him as well. Think he's a great play. Getting to the center position too, I think Joel Embiid, he's a great spend up on any slate. He's had huge games in the last few games. He's had 64 more fantasy points now in 5 straight games. So the upside is there. I like both he and Tyrese Maxey in that game. I think Capella is popping in quite a few optimals for us. So he's going to be a little bit more of a chalkier play. And then I think you like him too, Roth, but Sengun, tough matchup, but he is just playing great. And I've played him a lot, and he has been a tournament winning core for me this year quite a bit. So he's someone that you definitely want to have exposure to. He's at we have him projected for single digit ownership currently. But I think you want to get exposure to him in tournaments tonight. And then Jokic, we do have Murray finally back. But his ceiling, again, is so high too. And I think for cash games, people will be looking to pay down to someone like a Capella or even an Orlando Robinson, who's been starting for Bam Adebayo. So I think it'll be more of a pay down night for center. So paying up is going to get you a little bit unique in tournaments.
Okay, very good. Let's see. What did Butthole Jenkins says? That's not like Roth to like Şengün. I love Şengün. That's my dude. So
that's what I was thinking. I think
Kristi is on point. Şengün is my guy. I try to play him all the time. Okay, let's of course this show, as I mentioned, sponsored by FanDuel. Make sure you're checking out the FanDuel Sportsbook. If you bet $5 on any money line, you get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. For new users in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and up. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Briefly on that line, we also have a new thing going on called squad rides. I will talk to you more about that later, but it is the most fun thing to happen in RotoGrinders in years. So I will just tease it now. Oh, it was sarcasm. I'm sorry. I missed that, Butthole Jenkins. I missed your sarcasm font there. I'll tell you more about the squad rides in a little bit, but if you're not on the RotoGrinders Discord, you're doing it wrong. Make sure you sign up for the RG Discord. Taylor, let's walk through this DK build. You're right. I can't fit Luka, and I'm getting increasingly upset. So walk me through what I should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Luka's great in tournaments. Just in cash, we have so much other stuff that it's really hard to make him a priority. DeJounte Murray, we've talked about. Same reasons. He's a great play on FanDuel. He's a great play on DK. No Trae Young for them. For Neeson's, the minute should be there. His salary came up, but it was way overpriced to begin with, and I think he still is. Cole Anthony is a guy that's really popping on DK. He's 6,800, which is more than we usually pay for him, but Orlando doesn't have Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs, or Wendell Carter tonight, so they're down quite a few key pieces. He gets tons of usage anyway. They're playing Detroit, who is trash, so I think in cash, he's a very easy mid-range play at either guard spot. Dante Exum, you can play at point guard or small forward, which is interesting. He might have more value at small forward, but still an okay cash. Cheapy, mentioned Harden before. For the same reasons Kristi was talking about Devin Booker, he's a better play on DK. He's 700 cheaper over here than he is on FanDuel. I'm inclined to pay up for him anywhere I can. He's another reason Luka is not the total must in cash. Booker just with no KD and no Grayson Allen, no Bradley Beal. He should just do everything for Phoenix, and that game has a pretty tight spread. So Vegas at least likes their chances of keeping it competitive. Moving over to shooting guard, same guys here. Alex Caruso is an option. I prefer to not play him in cash. His minutes are kind of shaky. He seems to go to the locker room every other game. So not a bad play, but ideally you can find something else. Bogdanovic, the Hawks Bogdanovic, that is the one we want tonight. Bojan went off the other night, but his salary came up quite a bit, and they're not in a great spot against Orlando. So not going back to that well in cash, at least. Franz Wagner looks good. We like Orlando tonight in that game. For the same reason, Banchero looks good. He's also decent on DK. Power forward only, which is not ideal, but still a decent mid-range play. Sadiq Bey over here, power forward only as well. I prefer him. If I'm just playing one strictly power forward, I would go with Bey just for the salary relief. I believe that makes a lot of sense. Jalen Williams, decent price for him. He's popping in some optimals against Golden State. Chetty Osman, Cameron Johnson, guys we mentioned before, make a lot of sense on DK as well. Kawhi Leonard, I don't mind as a last piece. He's 8K. He always seems a little cheap. Great matchup for the Clippers against Utah, who's been one of the worst defenses in the league all season long. And at center, I think Capella is a guy you're looking at here as well. Duop Reith, our favorite from Wednesday, is back again. Still cheap. Got into foul trouble the other night, but the role should be there. We have Ayton doubtful, and Jeremy Grant is also out for them. So he looks pretty good as a cheap play. Okongwu, maybe. Never loved that off the bench behind Capella, but they basically split the minutes. So if you need another cheap guy, I think he's viable. And the last one I'll mention is Zubac. Daniel Tice, questionable for the Clippers. So if he's out, maybe Zubac gets a few more minutes and grades out as a decent mid-range value as well.
Very nice. He was one of the guys I had in my lineup, so I like hearing that. Kristi, let's talk tournaments on DK. Is it different from what you're doing on FanDuel, or do you feel it's a similar build?
It is similar. There are a couple plays on DraftKings that I'm looking at a little bit more. I know Taylor mentioned that, Devin Booker grades out a little bit better on DraftKings. So I think he's a little bit more of a core play for cash, like Taylor mentioned over here. But a couple guys I like, De'Aaron Fox is one of them. I like getting like Devin Booker and De'Aaron Fox in that game environment. De'Aaron Fox is he's under 10K, he's 9.6K. We've seen some really big games from him. He had a 65 fantasy point game here a couple nights ago. So you can see some good ceilings from him. So I like that price for him. Think he's very interesting. I have interest in that OKC game. They have a really good total tonight. So you get a guy like SGA, and he's going to come in at very low ownership too. He's priced up there. He's $1,200 less than your guy Luka, but he's always a great tournament play. So someone that I have interest in. I mentioned Terry Rozier. I think you can play him on both sites tonight. And again, he always gets such strong minutes. And with LaMelo out, he's always overlooked anyways. And then on a big slate like tonight, he's just not going to carry much ownership. So I like that high usage rate without LaMelo. So definitely have interest in him. I know Taylor also mentioned for cash, and I think you can use him for cash or tournaments, but Alex Caruso, he just has to play bigger minutes with Levine out. So I certainly like him. And he's affordable, and he allows you to pay up for guys like Booker or Luka or guys that you want to pay up for. I also, in the small forward area, I like Jalen Williams a little bit too. Another OKC guy that I carry some interest in just because, again, they have such a high team total. I like his price point. And then guys like Jimmy Butler and Paul George. I think Butler is more of a core play on FanDuel tonight, but Jimmy Butler, he's just averaging such big minutes and production with both Hero and Bam out of the lineup. So I do think Butler is great. I know Taylor mentioned Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. I always seem to kind of overlook some of those Clipper guys, but they're decent price points. So I think for me, it's more of a last piece. They're not targets of mine, but they're fine for last pieces. And again, Wemby, we talked about him in FanDuel. He's even on DraftKings tonight. He's definitely a core GPP play for me. I just, he just has way too much upside with the stocks for us that you want to have exposure. Che Yasmin too for value. I do like that piece quite a bit. And then as far as difference, one guy I'll mention for center, we talked about a lot about some of the cheap plays that we think people will be targeting tonight. But I'm going to throw Claxton in there too. Washington is 29th in defensive rating. He should have a heyday in there tonight. I like some of those Brooklyn guys, and I just think he's, I believe Squirrel, had tagged him as well too. So I think he's a difference maker as well. And then just like I mentioned for FanDuel too, Şengün, tough matchup, but just you got to have exposure.
Nice. I need help finding value. I mean, deep value on DK. I can't play Dante Exum for what it's worth, right? Is he not a DK player? Can you play him on DK?
You can.
He played minutes last game, 26 minutes, but they were up by 50. Is that the reason he got the minutes?
I think he's been starting. Let me check into that, but I believe his minutes have been up just because they've been playing him in a bigger role. They did win by 50, so that probably didn't hurt him too much. But yeah, he started, I guess, at small forward technically.
Is there cheap, cheap, is there a near 3K bottom of the barrel player that is even viable here, Kristi? Is there anyone that stands out to you as, somebody who could get a chance?
Yes, someone that you could just really extreme punt. Yeah, it's just fun to look. I think if you're looking to go, bottom of the barrel here, and one guy, while we're kind of just looking through here too, that I want to mention is with Chris Paul out, Steph Curry is always a viable tournament option too to throw in there. But, as far as value goes on DK, it is a little bit tough to get some of those pure punts on there. I mean, you could throw in a guy like, Anthony Black, a starting point guard role for Orlando, someone like him.
That works.
But
I feel better about that than Dante Exum. I'll tell you that. So, okay, that works. I will ride with that and give me a little bit of salary savings there as well. So excellent stuff. Dean pointing out Dante DiVincenzo is expected to start for Grimes. Do we care, Kristi?
Yeah, no, I think he is someone that you can definitely throw in there. I just saw that come across our RotoGrinders alerts too. So I do. Grimes has just been struggling, and I just figured it was just a matter of time before we see someone like DiVincenzo hit the starting lineup. So yeah, I do think he is someone that you can punt with for sure.
Very nice. Okay, Taylor, anything that you want to add here? We do want to open it up to questions here in just a bit.
No, I think we can go ahead and start the questions.
Okay, I think we got to go ahead and talk about the RG Squad Ride Discord channel. Basically, here's what we've been doing. Every day, we've been nominating someone we work with to make a sports betting pick, a prop bet, whatever it is, that essentially everybody gets on board with, and everybody bets it. And we ride with that. It's the squad ride. And it's been so fun. I've been following along. I can't sports bet because I'm in Texas. It's super annoying. But I've been following along even though I can't sweat the bet. It has been an absolute blast. And we decided we should do this on the Discord. We should get everybody else involved as well. So if you want to bet what we are betting, literally like a lot of us as a company, you can do that. All you got to do is join the Discord Squad Ride channel, and you can follow along. I mean, this is a great idea, right?
Yeah.
It is. It's an awesome
It'd be
idea.
cool if we had sports betting out here. I could join in too, but I'm also
I know. I have the worst FOMO ever not being able to participate, but hopefully you can. Make sure you're checking it out. It's a good time. And people are always like, oh, you're saving the good plays for yourself. No. First off, we don't do that. And second, these are literally, this is the bet, the one bet. We pick one bet a night that we're all riding on, and then we all get to sweat it together in the channel. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you're checking that out. With that, we've got 14 minutes until lock, and I think we should take a few QQs. So I'm scrolling up in the RotoGrinders Discord, and we'll start right here with D-Rock, DKGPP, Kristi, Orlando Robinson, or Zubac?
I'm rolling with Orlando Robinson tonight. I just like him. He's flashed the upside. I think they're both good plays, but I'm going with Orlando tonight.
Very good. NBA DFS says Kristi Bagley is starting for Detroit. Does that put him in play?
I saw that. Because it's such a big slate and there's some other values that I have, I'm going to more guys like Orlando and things like that. But I think he's fine. I do.
Okay. We'll go to Smoke and Jay. This is a FanDuel GPP question, but Taylor, I'm sure you can handle it. Your favorite super stud, Luka, Joker, or Embiid?
I have to go Embiid. They're playing Atlanta, which is another goldmine matchup. He's even better than he was last year. He's at like 1.8 fantasy points per minute. They're all great. They're all, slate breaking potentially, but if I had to plant my flag with one, I'm going Embiid.
Okay, great. We talked about DiVincenzo starting. Chinatown says, Roth, send me a heads up. I'm a fish. I get it. It's fine. I don't care. You can take my dollar if you want. FanDuel single entry favorite stud. All right, we covered that as well. This is a fun one, Taylor. Who can I not play in cash? Who is your guy in cash that essentially, or your guys that you feel you need to have, or the field's going to have 90% and you're screwed?
I think DeJounte is the one that stands out the most on both sites to me. It is otherwise a little site dependent. Like Sadiq Bey looks good on DK. Cole Anthony, I don't think he's a must, but I think he's a great play as well. Capella is the center I kind of landed on with both. It's a little fragile, but I think that's just a good starting point there.
Okay. If you don't play DeJounte in cash, you're bad. You're bad at this. So there you go. DeJounte is the answer. DK Cash question, Taylor, right back to you from Fit Crooks in the Discord. You want Exum and Osman or Ingles and Caruso?
I have to go, well, I guess Ingles looks a little better because they're shorter on guards, but for cash, I don't know if I can do that. So I'll side with the Exum one.
Okay. Scorekeeper says, DK GPP Kristi, I really like this question. Last piece at shooting guard in a DK GPP, Cole Anthony, Derek White, or Anthony Simons. We talked about our love for Cole Anthony, but also the prior show talked about their love for Simons. I think that was Kirkwood's like feel it in your plums play of the day.
It is, and I as much as I do think Anthony is a great play, I have a ton of Simons tonight, and I actually think he's kind of a cash and core GPP play for me. He'd be my second staple guy right after DeJounte Murray tonight.
Wow. Okay. Well, you must be reading minds and or reading the Discord, because that was the next thought. Seems like there are a lot of good plays on DK Cash. Who would you consider locks? What are your thoughts on Simons? DeJounte and Simons kind of borderline in there in DK?
Yeah, I do think so. Those are the two guys that I'm kind of looking at. I also think, I do like Caruso's price point over there too. If you're looking to save money, it's just 5.1K. I'd throw him maybe third. And then maybe even Bogdanovich too for Atlanta. I think he's kind of another, probably that fourth play that I really like.
Perfect. Good stuff. FanDuel Cash, Taylor, back to you here. You want Osman and Goga. Oh, we got a Goga sighting. Or KBD and Orlando Robinson?
That's good timing, because we just got news that Chetty's actually not starting. They're going back to Sohan tonight. So second one that doesn't have Chetty for sure.
Son of a, now I got to redo this lineup where I finally found the value to make it work. And now I got it. Is there a pivot off of in that price range off of Osman? Is there someone who's just like a direct one-to-one at that small forward, power forward?
Let's take a look. Scrolling down. Joe Ingles. We can come back to that if we want to get really disgusting here.
Exum?
It's rough.
Is it small?
Yeah,
forward?
Exum, honestly, I guess. Caruso's not much more expensive. It's kind of grim down there. I guess I would say Ingles, but
yuck.
I feel gross doing that.
Okay. Let's see. DKGPP Kristi CG says, am I in trouble if I'm not playing anybody from the 6 o'clock games?
Nobody from the 6 o'clock. Oops. I don't think you're in trouble. Well, actually, yeah, I would make sure you have Murray in there. I mean, I just want to verify that. But yeah, I would definitely have Murray in there, just because the usage is so good with Trae Young out. He's just going to get a ton. So I would definitely want to have some exposure. Okay, great. Smoke and Jay says FanDuel GPP last piece. By the way, if you're in the YouTube, I'm coming to you next. If you're in the YouTube chat, get those questions in. Pat Williams or DeAndre Hunter? Kristi, FanDuel GPP last piece, or is there someone better at 5'7" at small forward? This was on FanDuel? This was, yeah. Yeah. I like Hunter, and he probably can't get to Sadiq Bey, but if you can't get to Sadiq Bey, I like Hunter. Perfect. Okay. Last question from the Discord. Just for a second, I'll circle back. DK Cash, Cole Anthony, or Simons? Where do you stand on that, Taylor? That's like a total toss-up. I think personally I would lean Simons. I just feel like he's a little safer for cash. Okay, very nice. DK tournament thoughts here from K-Town's finest. Pirtle versus the Hornets, or go to Siakam? I was looking at Pirtle. I had interest. Am I the only one? No, I think that's actually a good tournament play. I do. We didn't really talk about him. I think that's a good play. I think Siakam's a good play too. But yeah, absolutely. I think they're both good. Great. Roger Jones in the YouTube chat says, can I play
Podziemski over Exum. Like, I don't like Exum, but I don't like Podziemski either. Is that a reasonable pivot here, Kristi?
I don't know. I think I'd rather go Exum. I know that's kind of ugly and
Yeah.
well, Taylor.
Another cheapie you can maybe play as a Kogi.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. King Dash says your top 3 point guards in FanDuel cash. This is a difficult question because obviously salary plays a role in it as well. But Taylor, as you're building, what do you think your top 3 point guards are on FanDuel cash? Price considered, ownership. I guess ownership not considered.
Murray, the obvious smash, and then back to Simons and Cole Anthony. Just like on DK, you can also play Exum there. Our favorite play of the day.
He's going to go off now that I've been talking smash.
Yeah.
Who was it that you said I could play in that spot, Taylor? I missed it.
Josh Okogie is a cheap guy for Phoenix. You can
That's not
feel
cheap.
bad about playing.
He's 4,900, Taylor. I need cheap.
You need bottom of the barrel cheap.
I need, yeah.
Kenrich Williams is 3-2, and maybe we'll play 15 minutes.
Jesus.
I know that's
why
exactly
am
what
I
you
doing
wanted to
this
hear.
build? What am I doing to myself? Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got here. How do you not lock Bagley? This is a good question. How do you not lock Bagley on FanDuel? We got news that he's starting. I don't know what his price is. Kristi, what's his price over there on FanDuel?
Yeah, he is. Yep, I was just looking him up actually. Yeah, he is 4,900. Yeah, so no, he is a good value play for sure.
Okay, Taylor, in cash, is he working into that cash build conversation now?
I think there's a lot of risk. We have him at 20 minutes. The Pistons just do all sorts of stuff with their lineup. Duran being out helps, but they have Isaiah Stewart. They have James Wiseman they can run in there.
Yep.
For cash, that's a little scary for me.
Yeah, I think he's a good tournament play because the upside is certainly there. But yeah, he could also play 15 minutes and get a lot of fouls too. So
very nice. Okay, smash that like button. By the way, got the best crew and the best producer in the business doing work right now on the YouTube chat. Ron says, "Is Eric Gordon viable?" Wait a second. Was that a random TJ appearance there? I didn't realize TJ was behind the scenes lurking.
I've been the one producing the whole time.
Oh, good stuff, man. You're doing a fantastic job. Good. I assumed that it was TJ, but good work. I assumed it was Devin rather. Is Eric Gordon viable in a DK GPP, Kristi? I think he was a name that you mentioned.
He is. He is. No Grayson Allen too. So likes to shoot the three. So yeah, I like him as a value piece.
Excellent. G Gardner says Cavs or Heat. Oh, we got a money line. Money line only. Straight. Who wins, Cavs or Heat? This is out of.
We're waiting on Mobley news, so it's kind of hard. I'll say Miami.
We need the Mobley news. Jumping back into the Discord real quick. FanDuel single entry. Kristi, in single entry, can you play Boncaro, Harris, and Franz together?
I think you could. I know when you kind of run some of the optimal builds, it's pulling 3, sometimes even 4 Orlando players tonight just because they are so short. So I think you can.
Okay, very good. Thoughts on what are your thoughts on 4 Hawks and your thought on Niang and Reith as last pieces in DK Cash, Taylor? 4 Hawks and Niang and Reith as last pieces.
Reith, I'm fine with. Niang is a Cav that I guess would jump up a little bit if Mobley's out. Last I saw, we haven't gotten that news. So if he's out, I think you can do that.
Okay, great. FanDuel cash question right back to you, Taylor. Franz Wagner and Capella or C. Johnson and Vooch? Cam Johnson.
First one for me.
Okay. FanDuel single entry. Kristi, coming back to you. Yeah, this is a 3v3. Booker, Caleb Martin, and Okogie, or Mikal Bridges, DeRozan, and KBD.
Oh, yeah, we didn't really talk too much about Keita Bates, Diop. I think that's a good value play too. I think I would go with that second one.
Okay, nice. FanDuel Cash, we're in that punting range again. Taylor Exum or Gary Harris?
I would side with Exum just because Gary Harris is really bad per minute.
Okay.
But
Bill T, is the law firm of Bogdanovich and Bogdanovich viable tonight? I was kind of looking like, can we play them both, Kristi?
I'd rather just go with Bogdanovich from Atlanta tonight.
The other one's price got the
Exactly.
height,
He's
right?
a little too expensive. I think there's other good plays in that mid-range. Yeah.
Okay. Any KBD love tonight? We did discuss that. You said he's a fair value.
He is.
Taylor, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much will I regret the thought of playing Gary Harris as a value piece in FanDuel Cash? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much will he regret that?
I don't know. Like, I kind of talked myself into it after I poo-pooed it already, but it's Cash. Like, that's kind of what you have to do tonight. Like, there's really nothing that, except for like Phoenix, like there's some stuff that looks okay, but you got to play at least one bad guy, and I think he's okay.
Okay, that's fine. Jay Frey says Siakam and Black. We'll call this a tournament question. Siakam and Black or Caruso and Cole Anthony? Kristi, who's Black? I'm blanking here.
Oh, Anthony Black for
Anthony
Orlando.
Black. Okay, so Kristi, Siakam and Anthony Black or Caruso and Cole Anthony?
I would go Caruso and Cole Anthony.
Very nice. Back to the punts for you, Taylor. KBD or Exum? I know these questions are not fun nor easy, but that's what the people are clamoring for.
KBD is a little better, I think.
Okay. DKGPP's back to the YouTube chat here. Is Rozier a good pivot off of Murray? Interesting question.
I do like Rozier. I actually have some builds that I have both of them in there, Rozier and Murray, but I do like Rozier. Yep, I do.
Can I ask about roughly what percentage Murray you have?
Yeah, I would say I probably have, I think I have kind of 5 lineups. I have 4 out of 5 lineups.
Okay.
Murray.
Okay. Nice. DK tournaments, Kristi, Koulibaly, Kamara, or Dort? 4,500 or less range.
Koulibaly, Kamara. What was the last one?
Or Dort.
I would say I would go Koulibaly.
Okay, nice. We're less than a minute until lock. Make sure you get those lineups in and adjusted. Hoosiers Hang Banner says, do we like a little Nas Reed as a last piece? This is single entry on DK. Taylor, you got any Nas Reed interest?
He looks fine. They're playing Memphis, who's not good at all. Definitely a tournament guy, but fine if it's a large field. Single entry, it's kind of shaky, I think.
Yeah, Rook and Verde pointing out he's got 30 DK points in his last 3 of 4 games. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Hey, with that, we have hit the lock. Excellent work, Taylor. Excellent work, Kristi. Do we scare you away? Or are you going to be coming back for more of these shows, Kristi?
I'm going to be back. I think I'm back on next couple of Fridays here in December. So
excellent. Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing more of you, Taylor. We look forward to working with you as always. I think we are going to bounce on out of here. So for Taylor, for Kristi, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crunched.